Guys, this is a small video Mr. Shobjani is making in order to explain all the semi-final scenarios for this World Cup for Group 2. Okay, and I'll explain it to you properly exactly how any one of these teams can actually qualify for the semi-finals. It's an incredible points tally which has like which is really going to create a lot of heartbreaks on Sunday. So Sunday is a clincher because Sunday we'll be seeing three matches which will decide the fate of the Group 2 semi-final spots. So I'll explain slowly so that you all understand exactly how India is placed, how South Africa is placed, how Pakistan is placed, how Bangladesh is placed, how Zimbabwe is placed. Okay. So firstly we'll look at India. India is at the top right now with 6 points, and their net run rate is plus. Uh, 1 second, it just became a little dark. Um, it's plus 7.30. But look at the net run rate of South Africa and Pakistan. They are quite healthy. They are actually Pakistan with their kind of incredible hitting today has actually ensured that their net run rate goes up quite a lot. So what we see is that Pakistan has really bumped up their net run rate, which is close to about plus 1.11. Okay, and if they the last match with Bangladesh, if they really do a good job, this will even go higher, which can even cross South Africa. So South Africa has plus 1.4, which is the highest, and Pakistan has about plus 1.11, whereas India, they haven't crossed even 1. Okay, so it becomes very important that India wins the match against Zimbabwe, because even if they lose against Zimbabwe, they should lose we're taking into account that their net run rate goes up over 1, which is highly unlikely, because if India loses to Zimbabwe, then the net run rate going above 1 is a very challenging proposition. So it is absolutely important that India wins against Zimbabwe. There is no other alternative for India, because if India loses to Zimbabwe, it opens up the gate for Pakistan. They have a healthier run rate than India, and if Pakistan wins against Bangladesh, we are absolutely sure that this will just go higher up. This net run rate will go higher up. So as they have two remaining matches, that is India has one match with Zimbabwe and Pakistan has one match with Bangladesh. So it is just a do or die situation for both the teams. You just have to win these final matches. Pakistan, if they win against Bangladesh, the net run rate will go up. India, if they win with against Zimbabwe, you don't need to worry about the net run rate, because they will go up to 8 points. And if they go up to 8 points, then your semis are assured. Because even if Pakistan wins against Zimbabwe, Pakistan wins against Bangladesh, then score will go up to 6. Okay, so India has to win against Zimbabwe. That is the only thing they need to do. They don't have to worry about this net run rate and all these things. They just have to win against Zimbabwe. That is the important thing. The funny part is, if Netherlands pulls an upset with South Africa and India wins against Zimbabwe and Pakistan wins against Bangladesh, then Pakistan and India will qualify for the super for the semis, because you see Pakistan will go up to 6 points and South Africa will remain at 5 points. So if Pakistan, I'm talking about a scenario where Pakistan wins against Bangladesh and South Africa loses to Netherlands, which is highly unlikely, I don't think that is going to happen, and India, even if it loses to Zimbabwe in that scenario, still the India and Pakistan will go to the semis. But That is if South Africa loses to Netherlands. Because if South Africa loses to Netherlands, then what happens is the everybody is going to be on 6 points. So in that scenario, it should be that India will go on to the semis because their net run rate is quite healthy. So even in this Pakistan Bangladesh, whoever wins and goes up to 6 points, I don't think Bangladesh can win so heavily so as to come second, because their net run rate is minus 1.276. So I feel India, even if it loses, it will have to lose by a massive margin to actually go down to the third position. So if South Africa loses to Netherlands, more or less you can be sure that India will go on to the semis, because the other two teams, which are Pakistan and Bangladesh, if Pakistan wins against Bangladesh, we are quite certain that they will be at the top of the table because of their net run rate. Bangladesh, if they win against Pakistan, then they will go on to the semis and with India. So if South Africa loses to Netherlands, then India is surely going through to the semi-finals, because South Africa just has 5 points. But I don't think that is going to happen. So South Africa definitely is not going to lose to Netherlands. That's going to be a massive upset. I don't think that will ever happen. So we can more or less be certain that South Africa will win against Netherlands, right? So let's look at one scenario where South Africa wins against Netherlands. It will go on to 7 points. India and Zimbabwe matches are there. Pakistan and Bangladesh matches are there, right? So then India has to win against Zimbabwe to be absolutely sure that they reach the semis. Okay. Now, if they lose against Zimbabwe, then for a Pakistan Bangladesh match, what should be the ideal scenario? Many people are asking me that suppose South Africa wins against Netherlands. Now Pakistan and Bangladesh are playing, right? Now, which will benefit India most if India loses to Zimbabwe? Definitely, if Bangladesh wins against Pakistan, that will benefit India more, because their net run rate is minus 1.276, which is very, very difficult, because from minus 2.76 to get it over 1 point or more than this plus 0.730 is going to be a little difficult. So in a scenario where South Africa is winning against Netherlands, and Pakistan and Bangladesh, tie becomes important, and Bangladesh wins against Pakistan, the chances of India going through to the semis become stronger, even if they lose to Zimbabwe. However, if Pakistan, the clincher is, of course, if Pakistan wins against Bangladesh, South Africa wins against Netherlands, then it is absolutely like you have to win against Zimbabwe. And let's not think that Zimbabwe are pushovers. On their day, they can do the unthinkable. So we have to be very careful. We have to check out the pitch and everything a little, because if Zimbabwe can sniff kind of a win, they will go for the kill, which we saw with Pakistan. Now, if we are looking at it, these are the tenure, these are the things, like Zimbabwe India. That will be the last match of the tournament. The win probability is very high, and it's a Melbourne cricket ground, so we can expect a high scoring match. So let's hope for the best. But I hope I've been able to explain exactly how it is, how the points table is going to play out. Um, Essentially, there are 3 matches. Okay, out of these 3 matches, if South Africa loses to Netherlands, then very strong possibility of India going through. Okay, because if South Africa loses to Netherlands, they won't be able to go to the top of the table, which is 7 points, right? Secondly, but if South Africa wins against Netherlands, which is definitely going to be the order of the day, because I don't think South Africa can lose to Netherlands, then the Pakistan Bangladesh tie becomes very important. The Pakistan Bangladesh tie, if Bangladesh wins against Pakistan, chances of India going through becomes a little stronger, because Bangladesh's net run rate is a little low. Okay, they have to win by a massive margin. Okay, but if Pakistan wins against Bangladesh and South Africa wins against Netherlands, then India has to win against Zimbabwe. That is it. So there is nothing which India needs to do. They just need to win against Zimbabwe. They just need to forget all this net run rate and all those things. I personally think if Pakistan wins against Bangladesh, it will definitely bump up their run rate, which is 1.11. This will definitely go up. To make it up, like while losing, is going to be a very tall ask. So I don't think that is going to happen. So in my estimated opinion, what I feel is that the only thing India needs to do is win against Zimbabwe. That is the only thing which is required. I hope I've been able to explain to you everything. Hope you like this video. Please comment if you want. This is Mr. Shopjani signing off.